Jazz Shaw, who along with Doug Mataconis is are the hosts of Polito Nerds. Jazz Shaw put an article out on Hot Air, and it was something that it was actually shared to us by Prairie Dog SD. That's Larry from Free Radical Network, who this article, and I'm putting the link in the chat. The article questions the idea of culture being upstream of politics. The whole idea, we've talked about that a billion times. Who hasn't talked about that? Andrew Breitbart quote: "Politics is downstream from culture. Culture is upstream of politics." And the whole debate over, conservatives, why are we so bad with the culture, and how is this something that perpetually is a problem? Why haven't any conservatives jumped into culture? He says, is politics truly downstream from pop culture? I've never really had any difficulty separating entertainment from real-world policy discussions, nor do I find myself getting offended if the story being told has a progressive theme, as long as it's well made. When I put down the book, turn off the television, or walk out of the theater, I leave that behind. But perhaps that's not the same experience for everyone. He then finishes the piece by asking, why aren't there more huge conservative endeavors in pop culture, and how did the market slip so thoroughly into the other column? I know, Leslie, you have some opinions on this, but I think that we've already answered a bunch of these questions before with previous episodes of The Refinery, but I think that really the big problem here is that we just fail to acknowledge the majority of conservative content that's out there that is in the culture that's good.
Right, and I think what Jazz is doing is he's asking a valid question, but is confused to me with the way I think about culture and politics, and which is upstream and downstream from another, because I think of human beings come together in a society, and then our society creates the opinions of our society form what we call the culture, and entertainment culture is created by society, and so the way the society is reflected in our culture, and then who we elect as politicians is as a result of that. It all flows downhill. Regular people believe that our entire society believes exactly what Hollywood believes, because Hollywood's opinions and views are echoed across the whole country, and that's what we then think everybody believes, and that then flows into what our political views are, I think.
I mean, I guess you could say that. I'm not really sure that I agree. And here's why. I think that when we're talking about these vast cultural industries like television, video, and movies, and YouTube now, and books, all of that stuff, and there have been some serious revolts in a lot of these areas, like video games. We've got Gamergate, and sci-fi literature. We've got the puppies movement. But going into these broader cultural things, when you look at the movies that make the most money and the kind of movies that are most popular, by and large, they're movies with conservative themes. There are lots of really good shows on TV. I mean, and this is where we've talked about this before. There are shows on TV that are really, really great conservative TV shows. So there are a lot of shows out there. There are a lot of movies out there. There's a lot of content out there that we do a miserable job of claiming as conservative. And I think that is a problem for us. That's sort of puts us into this mindset that there is no conservative content out there. It's, we are constantly so guarded. We see the examples of the left in culture that we don't point out the examples of the right. We're so blinded by the stuff we don't like that we don't really take the proper amount of time to give enough recognition to the stuff that we do.
This is why I've wanted to, see pieces on FRN for ages about taking conservative content out of pop culture and highlighting it so people can take that to the water cooler And when they're talking about something they watched that might not be a wholly conservative show, they can take out the conservative elements and look at it that way. And that allows them to not feel so guilty about liking pop cultural stuff that may not have the values that that they share. But when you talk about themes, Hollywood still has to make things that people will watch and that will resonate with them. I say it over and over. They don't celebrate the way that they do good values. They don't celebrate the bad things that people do. Bad guys get their comeuppance eventually. Nobody ever gets away with everything. And if there is a villain or a bad guy, quote unquote, there's usually some redeeming value or some quality that he has that you can latch on to. But again, showing people where it is and saying, did you notice that this is a conservative theme in this widely liberal show populated by liberals? It needs to be done, and nobody's doing it in right.
You know what this is? And it took me until now to figure it out. Do you understand that what the left is doing is cultural misappropriation?
Oh my gosh, that's like bad, isn't it? And that's kind of filling in the blank and being persuasive, leading them to know that no rational person would agree with this Democrat position because it is so radical and crazy. And so you, the person that I'm talking to, who once thought yourself pro-choice, once I explained to you what the Democrat position really is, you can't agree with that because their real position is so very radical.